afternoon, everybody. Count Von Bolt here. Back to do a Transformers review for you, the people of YouTube. Victory. Who the hell are you? What? I am Count Von Bolt. I did a video for you about 2 years ago for Halloween. Ghost Stories. It was very good. And did you do it in that accent? Of course. Yeah. What is that? Transylvanian? Italian? Bob Hoskins trying to be Italian? Indian call centre? It's a little bit of everything. I've been around for a very long time, travelled the entire world for thousands of years. I have been used in recipes for thousands of years. Yeah, stop that. You're not Michael McIntyre. But what the fuck are you doing here? You are doing third-party toy review, yes? Well, I am here to help with that. Last time you did third-party toy review, you had Sir Pelham Fountain to help you. But he is in Birmingham and you are now in Ireland, where it's very, very wet. It plays hell with your hair. How do you keep it so straight? So, last time you had Repellent Found Dead, and now you have me to help you. No? No. I don't need your help. But, no. I hear voices in my head. Get out. But just go get me a pizza or something, okay? I don't need you here. Fine. You want pepperoni on that? Okay, I'm going. Well, that was random. That wasn't just me. You guys did see the guy in the mask, right? What just happened? Anyway, that was the gayest vampire since Edward Cullen. I'm not saying something. I don't want to know what kind of recipes he's been used in. Ugh. Anyway, on with the review, and to have some resemblance of sanity, we'll do it the proper way.
Hi, this is Optimus Primal, and this is Silverbolt's Transformer Review.
Afternoon, everybody. Silverbolt here, back with a Transformers review, back with the promised in the first of what will probably be a 5/6 part video featuring TFC Uranus. Now, I really like Uranus. I'm talking to you, Deprez. Right, that's the Uranus joke out the way. Yeah, no, it's not. There's going to be more. TFC Uranus in the form of F4 Phantom. It's Fireflight. Okay? It's Fireflight. We know it's Fireflight. We'll be calling it Fireflight. Right then. Now then, I have, of course, already done an Aerial Bots video previously to this. So I will do, as I did with Sideswipe, focus on the IDW/Dreamwaves comic continuity series of it. No, because, as I said, I've done the G1 cartoon, and we're focusing this one solely on Fireflight. Now then, Fireflight, his character bio depicts him as having a childlike wonder. Just what you need in a desperate battle for survival. A lost innocence and a childlike sense of adoration about the world around him when he's getting shot at. Yes, so Fireflight has got his head in the clouds. And he never really pays attention to what's going on around him. And as such, well, things can go quite bad when Fireflight's around. And he just, because he views the world with a very naive way of looking at it. I mean, he wouldn't be out of place fitting into the original war back on Cybertron, back in the Golden Age, you know, because he has that sense of the world is sparkling and new. So there we go. And not really what you need in a hard-bitten warrior. I mean, let's face it, you know, if the aerial bots had to be certified to fly, and between all of them, none of them would actually get off the ground. Ba-doom! Okay, I'm going to stop that now. I'm trying to think of another one, but I can't off the top of my head. Oh well, these things always come to me when I'm in the air. Oh look, there, I did it again! Alright, I'll stop now. I vaguely promise. No, I won't. So, anyway, yes. So, Fireflight has this childlike sense of wonder that he just really loves seeing everything. And so it's a good thing that he's a plane, you know. If he transformed into a snail, well, he wouldn't get very far. Was that a pun? No, not really. So, you know, he's a very, very likeable character. Obviously, in the Generation 1 cartoon, the aerial bots' personalities were downloaded into Vector Sigma. So you could say that Fireflight, for whatever reason, went into stasis before the war happened and never saw it. So he never got the chance to become embittered by it. Now, in the Dreamwave continuity of the comics, the aerial bots were Silverbolt and the others, Fireflight and the others became the aerial bots. And they, at some point in Cybertronian history, roughly around the time of the Dark Ages in Cybertron's history, they formed the aerial bots and they became one of the combiner groups. Now, according to the Crisis Intervention Accords, the combiner groups caused so much havoc, so much devastation, and so much ruin that they were banned. Now, they could join a faction, Motormaster joined one of them, or they could stay as a neutral subgroup, like the Protector bots did. But they couldn't take an active side in the war as a combiner. What happened to the aerial bots after that, we don't know. It probably would have been revealed in the third part of the Dreamwave storylines into the Cybertronian histories, but of course Dreamwave got cancelled. Okay. In the IDW continuity, Fireflight joins up with Optimus Prime. He responds to Optimus' rally call, and he fights against the Seekers in the battles that followed. Thousands of years later, this is after, following on the G1 continuity of the events, he was posted to fight alongside the other Autobot forces against Galvatron's army, and he was very much a part of that role, led by Silverbolt. Naturally enough, they attacked the Kimia facility. And that's about it. Now, admittedly, there was an online interview done with Roberts where it said actually Fireflight was supposed to go on to the Lost Light during the events of More Than Meets the Eye, but he was talked out of it by someone with a vested interest, who I actually don't know. Sorry, but there we go. Now, onto the toy itself. Now, admittedly, you know, with Fireflight and with the other, and as it is when I did the other combiner reviews of the individuals, they don't really do a lot. Silverbolt's an exception. Silverbolt's actually he's a bit more prolific than any of the other combiner group members or even the leaders of the other combiner groups when it comes to shenanigans and battles and everything else in regards to the other ones. So Silverbolt's review is probably going to be quite lengthy. Unfortunately, the 5 of these guys really aren't. That's the problem. So I might actually combine Air Raid and Skydive's review into one and do both of them there and then, and keep Slingshot probably have his own review purely because it's Slingshot. You know, his ego wouldn't let me do it any other way, and Silverbolt will get his own review. I'll see how it goes, then do a video showing the combined forms of Superion and and whatever, or Uranus as he's called, he's superior. One thing I will bring up in this video that I've wanted to mention, and I'll do it now before I go into the discussions of the toy itself, because it relates to the toy itself, and it's on these third-party Transformer toys. Now, I am against knockoffs in general. So I would never buy, say, the actual G1 knockoffs that are in the that are coming up from eBay auctions in China, where they are actual knockoffs of old molds from the 80s toy line, and their price range is about the same as you'll pay for a mint-in-box original. So there we go. But when it comes to the other ones, now I originally started out with, I think it was the City Commander set from Fans Project, and I really liked it. I wasn't too sold on the Springer remake. As I said, you know, I don't refer to them as their other names, because it's obvious that this is supposed to be Fireflight. And it makes me wonder, just what is Hasbro doing? You know, their intellectual property is getting mullered left, right and centre. And these things aren't slowing down. These third-party releases are speeding up. We now have, there's the Hercules, you know, just from TFC themselves, you've got Hercules and now you've got Superion. Or, well, you've got Hercules, Devastator, and Uranus, Superion. But we've got a Predaking coming out. We've actually had 2 Predakings. We've got another one coming out again, which again is going to be a massive third-party done combiner. And it makes me wonder, just what is Hasbro doing? Where is their legal team? I admit, I like these toys. I think they're great. Fair play. If someone wants to produce them, go ahead. But you know, the non-crack addicted addict that I am makes me think, why isn't Hasbro stopping these guys? Or at least bringing them on board to work with them. And they're turning out some really, really good stuff. Okay, it's overpriced, but then so is the Masterpiece line, as I pointed out in my Sideswipe video. You know, it's a little bit overpriced. I paid, I think it was 60 quid for this, including postage and packaging, which is a lot. You know, I've ordered the next 2, one of which is Silverbolt. I think the next one's Air Raid. I can't quite remember if it's Air Raid or Skydive. I know it's not Slingshot. You know, and I've ordered them as well, and they were 170 quid in total for the 2 of them. Silverbolt obviously is going to be a larger toy. So these third-party companies are making money off this design. Right, okay, look at the box art. The box art for F4 Phantom. It doesn't actually have a proper name. He's just F4 Phantom. Look at the box art. Look at this. That is very, very much Dreamwave IDW inspired Fireflight. You know, there is no mistaking that. That could be in the More Than Meets the Eye collector's book as Fireflight. You know, it's a lovely drawing. You know, it's a fantastic piece of artwork. But why isn't Hasbro doing something about these guys? I will admit, I'm not complaining. I'm just putting it out there. What's going on, Hasbro? Because I will be buying them. And I know we've got a 6-shot coming out. And I will definitely be buying that, because I love the idea of it. Actually, I believe 6-shot is done by the same people who do this. Oh, well. Yeah, I know the box is very rattly. The ties are still in it. But anyway, on to this fella. Robot mode. He comes with 2 missile pods that form... Well, they can be blasters in either hand. They can be the double blaster, I've got it on here. Or they can attach to his arm. So you can give him Seeker-esque arm cannons. Articulation is quite good. You've got the shoulders turn, move up and down. Mostly, but that's due to the transformation. You have elbow articulation. It rotates, I suppose, upper bicep area. No wrist articulation apart from that. Is there? No, there isn't. Okay. Swivels at the hip. Has to, of course, because it forms the arm. This actually forms part of the arm for the Uranus robot. The arm. No, that's not going to be a good one. Swivels at the hip. Has movements on his upper thighs. Swivel joints. Elbow joints. Knee joints. Has some articulation, but it is stopped by the fact that it meets the lower leg. No articulation in the feet itself, apart from this bit here, which moves up and down, and you can rotate it slightly and fiddle with it slightly to get a more sturdy foot. One of the flaws I have with this toy is it has light piping. So the eyes light up. The problem is, as you can clearly see, the nose cone stops it. It doesn't really give a great effect unless you have the head turned sideways. And then it does come through quite nicely as an orange bit of light piping. Unusual for the Transformers robots. They usually come through as either blue or red. Okay, transforming it. Actually, really simplistic. A lot of these third-party toys are really, really complicated to transform. Warbot Defender springs to mind, but of course he's a triple changer. City Commander. Well, City Commander was more of a. He was a shell former. No, he wasn't a shell former. He was a. The robot mode was just everything was just stuck on it, and the truck mode was just kind of like put together like a jigsaw. This guy's relatively simple. Folding the feet into its top there. These two knee bits fold down like that. The legs just push in, naturally enough. Oh, I can do it. The legs just push in. The back is actually really nicely clever. You pull them out, it slides down, and then it's on this triple hinged piece, and it just slides into a groove between the legs, which I'll get to when I've done everything else. The head, turn it backwards, and bring the nose cone over. Push up the shoulder blade so it goes on either side. Fold in the hands so they sit in flush, and unfold these wrist parts, which I now can't do naturally enough. Oh, I can. Good, man. The wings rotate like this, and they also pop out. So actually, I'll pop them out just for ease of purposes. And if you've got everything pushed in the way it should be, you just push the arms in. There's little catches just in here, and they just push in like so, and the whole thing kind of fits together. And then, no, I've got that bit wrong. There we go. Lastly, the wings. Get them the right way around, Simon. The wings clip in into the hole pegs here, and there's also pegs on them to clip into the arms themselves. Vangelis is so much better at doing this than I am. Nice plug for you there, dude, by the way. Fold out the end of the wings, and you can have them in straight, or you can have them bent. It's entirely up to yourself. And then you just... Where's the guns gone? There they are. You just put the guns underneath and straight in like that. And there we have F4 Phantom Fireflight, blatantly. Really, really nice toy. Now then, I think this is superior to... Superior? Oh well. I do actually believe this is a superior toy to the Hercules, to the Devastator robots. The individual... No, I remember my friend Extra Guyver showing me these toys at Auto Assembly, and I think it was probably about 3 years ago now. And I liked them, but they had very much an Armada-esque feel to them. They seemed... I realised I was complaining a little while ago about the complexity of things like other third-party Transformers, like Fans Project stuff, but the money that you were spending on them was a bit much. So the individual robots, I didn't like that much. I thought they were a bit clunky. The problem is that when they're all combined into Devastator, which of course is the abject point of it, is the toy is fantastic. It's beautiful. And I really, 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 really want it. But it's 300, you're looking at 300 quid for a transforming toy that I only like one part out of all 7. When I'm working, and if I have a little bit of extra income, then yes, I may well pick up all 6 of them to have them all. Does my girlfriend watch these channels? Yes, she does. I'll buy you something pretty, sweetie. Actually, that's one of the great things about it. I don't actually have to do things like that. But I do anyway, because she's worth spoiling it. But there we go. Sideswipe, what are you doing? I'll have to show you this. Come here. What? What? Oh, you mangled. Come here, Sideswipe. Hello. All right. Yeah. Okay, come on. He's not quite clever enough to get on the sofa. Well, he can get on the sofa, but I think it's more fun if I do it for him. This is Sideswipe. Yes, isn't he just the cutest little thing? 4-month-old. And he's a great little fella, aren't you? And he loves his daddy. He loves his daddy. You're warm and you're going to need to go out soon, so... Alright then. Now then, go back to... Juicy, don't fall. Go back to chewing... Oh, actually, you're alright. It was only one of your toys. I thought he got something else. He's a habit of going after socks. And whilst... There we go. And now he'll kill that. Yes, he will. He's a habit of going after socks. And whilst I don't mind if he goes like past the odd pair of, you know, tatty socks that I don't wear anymore, how do you differentiate with a 4-month-old puppy which socks he can have and which socks he can't? By the way, so, yes, just to keep an eye on there. Anyway, back to the subject matter at hand. I was talking about Devastators. I didn't really like them, and if I have the money, I will get it at some point if I can justify the expense. And then the fact that I really, really want it isn't really... Yeah, actually, yes, it is, but I'd have to be really unsure, and it... Yeah. Anyway, on the contrary to these toys, now, obviously, we remember what was like, you know, remember when Fans... For those of you who owned it, when Fans Project first released City Commander, it was really, really clunky. And then they improved on that with, well, to some degree, with Warbot Defender. And then they gave us the Bruticus and the Superion kits. So, there we go. Well, the Superion upgrade kit wasn't really a huge amount. But especially when they gave us the Bruticus, which was phenomenal. And then, of course, it got its repaints. But there we go. So there we are. Yes, but these ones I really like. It's posable, it's durable, it's tough, it's solid. It's a good toy. For its price tag, it'd want to be. Now, if it wasn't for its price tag, I would have no problem giving this to my nephew to play with. And he's now 7. He won't be able to, because it was 60 quid. I'm not giving my nephew a £60 toy, no matter how much I like him. But it's well put together, it's nicely done. There's no stickers or anything like that, but at least the plastic has now been moulded in a decent way that you can see. You know, it's got the plastic itself has got more detail. Obviously inspired by G1 Fireflight in its coloration scheme and its model design. It is, of course, going to be a combiner, which means it will have it has a third mode in the form of an arm. And I don't actually have the hand on me at this moment in time because it's in the other room. So I will give a very, very quick example of what this toy is supposed to look like with its arm in place, roughly. If I can, because I know the joint in this is incredibly stiff. On a very, very solid ratchet and clank. Ratchet and clank. On a very, very solid ratchet. And that in itself is a very, very nice touch from the designers. Obviously, this is going to have to support the weight of the hand and also the gun that accompanies it and all things like that. So it needs to be tough and it needs to be durable for the simple fact that it is going to be, you know, quite large. Hardly the most complicated designs for a combiner, but then in saying that, you know what, the G1 combiners were hardly complicated apart from Devastator, and he was a doddle once you learned how to do it. You know, he was actually really easy. They just require a little bit of fiddling. There we go, to connect those two pieces in there. And that's pretty much it. You turn the waist, so he's got an elbow. Actually, he's got two elbows because he's bends slightly backwards there. And the hand. Just pulled him apart. And the hand just goes underneath there, between the booster packs. And that gives you some idea of just how big this guy is going to be. That's his arm, with a rotating shoulder joint and a rotating elbow joint. Elbows don't usually bend that way, but hey, what the hell. So that's the guy's arm. So that gives you some idea of just how big this bloke's going to be. And frankly, can't wait! I don't know, I'm going like a girl! Simon, stop that. Hold on. There we go. Testicle just popped back into the right place. So yes, really nice toy. I've kept the box. My friend, he knows who I mean, would be so proud of me. I've kept the box for this guy. I'll probably keep the box for all the five because I really like the artwork. Shows a very nice design that thankfully doesn't appear to be too badly photoshopped. But it seems a really nice design. So, I'm looking forward to the next ones. Now, I've ordered mine from Kapow, where I get quite a lot of my stuff actually still. But they're not going to be coming till the way Kapow do. I'm not going to get the next two parts to this until about March time, when the Silverbolt version is released or the Blackbird is released, because I think they haven't actually named them. They just call them the names of the planes that they're stylized on. Excuse me. So I will be getting that probably about March time. So this is going to be the last video on these guys coming up for a while. However, I do have Masterpiece Soundwave coming my way, and if I can take the time to actually learn everything that Soundwave has been doing in the IDW continuity, we'll give you a review of it. But for now, this is Silverbolt with I won't. With TFC Uranus, Fireflight. Well, this is technically F4 Phantom. It's actually not a bad name, I suppose. Phantom, come here. But there we go. So this is Silverbolt with Fireflight, signing off, saying au revoir, adios, au revoir.